Timmy the tiny turtle learns to swim. Once upon a time, in a place where the grass was soft and the sun was bright, lived a little turtle named Timmy. Timmy was very special because he had a shiny green shell and a tiny blue cap that he wore everywhere. He loved his home by the pond, but there was one thing that made his heart go pit-a-pat: the water. The pond was big and blue, and it sparkled like a million diamonds in the light. Timmy liked to sit on the warm sand and watch the ripples move back and forth. But every time the water touched his toes, he would scurry back. "It's too wet," Timmy would whisper, "and it's far too deep for a tiny turtle like me." Timmy wasn't the only one at the pond. His friends were already having a wonderful time. Croacus the frog was practicing his biggest leaps, and Paddle the duck was zooming through the reeds. They were having a splash party. "Come in, Timmy," they called out. "The water is lovely and cool." Timmy shook his head and pulled his blue cap down a little lower. He wanted to play, but his legs felt like heavy stones. He watched Croacus and Paddle play tag in the water. Timmy felt a little bit sad and a little bit lonely. He wished he could be brave like his friends. Just then, Timmy felt a gentle tap on his shell. It was his mom, Marina. She had a very kind smile and a voice that sounded like a soft song. Marina sat down next to Timmy on the sand. "The water looks scary when you look at all of it at once, doesn't it, Timmy?" she asked softly. Marina leaned in and whispered a secret. "You don't have to swim across the whole pond today, Timmy. You only have to take one tiny step, just one, and then we can see how it feels." Timmy looked at his mom and felt a tiny bit of courage start to wiggle in his tummy. Timmy took a very deep breath. He looked at the water, and then he looked at Marina. He moved one foot forward. Squish! The sand was wet and cool. It didn't feel scary. It felt like a nice, cold hug for his toes. He took another step, and then another. Soon, the water was up to Timmy's tummy. It tickled his shell. He looked back at Marina, who was nodding and cheering for him. Timmy realized that he was doing it. He was in the water, and he was perfectly okay. The pond wasn't a scary monster. It was a giant playground. Suddenly, Timmy's feet left the ground. He started to wiggle his flippers, just like Marina had shown him before. Kick, kick, splash. Timmy was swimming. He moved through the water like a little green boat. The water felt smooth against his shell, and his blue cap stayed perfectly dry. Paddle the duck swam over to give Timmy a high five with his wing. "You did it, Timmy," Paddle cheered. Timmy spent the whole afternoon splashing and playing with all his friends. He learned that even when you are scared, taking things one step at a time can lead to the best adventures of all. Milo the Curious Kitten. Milo lived in a cozy house with soft rugs and warm, sunny corners. He was a tiny orange kitten with stripes like a little tiger and eyes that sparkled like stars. Most days, Milo was happy to nap on his favorite cushion, but today, his little pink nose was twitching with a new feeling. The big wooden door was open, just a crack. Milo saw a world of bright green through the opening and heard the tweet-tweet of happy birds. With a brave wiggle of his bottom and a tiny, high-pitched mew, he stepped out onto the soft, tickly grass of the garden for the very first time. The garden was a giant jungle. Milo found flowers that were bigger than his head, swaying in the breeze. They smelled like sweet honey and bright sunshine. He reached out and gave a soft purple petal a gentle pat. Boing! The flower wiggled back, and Milo let out a happy purr. Suddenly, something bright and blue fluttered right past Milo's fuzzy ears. It was Pip the butterfly. Pip had wings that looked like pieces of the summer sky. Milo's eyes grew wide and round. He wondered if he could fly too, so he started to follow Pip across the lawn. Milo went leap, hop, tumble. He chased Pip through the tall, swaying grass. Pip danced through the air, leading Milo deeper into the magical garden. Every step brought a new sound or a new smell, and Milo's heart panted with the excitement of the chase. Suddenly, a bright orange face popped up from the bubbles with a tiny splash. It was Glimmer the fish. Glimmer blew a perfect round bubble right at Milo's nose. Pop! Milo tilted his head in surprise. He had never made a friend who lived underwater before. Whoosh! A sudden puff of wind blew through the tall trees. Something big, brown, and crunchy fell from high above and landed right on Milo's back. Milo jumped high in the air, his orange fur standing up until he looked like a fuzzy dandelion. Milo landed on his paws and looked at the monster that had attacked him. It wasn't a monster at all. It was just a leaf. He realized it was only the wind playing a game. He gave the leaf a playful bat with his paw, making it crinkle crunch on the grass. As the sun began to turn the sky into a warm peach color, Milo felt very tired and very proud. He had explored the garden, met new friends, and learned to be brave. He realized that being a curious kitten led to the most wonderful surprises in the world. The brave little bunny. In a meadow where the sun felt like a warm hug, lived a little bunny named Luna. Luna was as white as a cloud and had big, round eyes that saw the beauty in every flower. She loved the smell of sweet clover and the way the butterflies danced, but she was very, very shy. Luna liked to stay close to her cozy burrow. To a little bunny, the world felt very big, and she felt very small. "There are so many loud noises," she would whisper, twitching her pink nose. She preferred to watch from the safety of a soft patch of grass while others played. Across the meadow, the other animals were full of energy. Skitter the squirrel and Bramble the mouse were busy playing a game of tag near the tall grass. They jumped and splashed in puddles, making lots of happy noise. Luna watched them and wished she was brave enough to join in. One afternoon, Luna heard a tiny, sad sound coming from the bushes. Cheep, cheep. She hopped over a mossy stone and found a tiny baby bird named Pip. Pip had fallen out of his nest and was shivering on the ground. The little bird looked very lost and very scared. Luna's heart went thump, thump, thump. She wanted to help, but the tall oak tree looked like a giant mountain. Suddenly, she remembered what her mother, Amala, always told her. "Bravery isn't about not being scared, Luna," Amala had said while smoothing her fur. "It's about helping even when you are." Luna looked at Pip and took a deep breath. "Don't worry," she whispered, her voice becoming steady. "I will help you get back home." Pip looked up at her and gave a tiny, hopeful chirp. Luna felt a little spark of courage grow big and strong inside her chest. The nest was high up on a low-hanging branch. Luna knew she couldn't fly, but she was a very good hopper. She gently placed her soft head behind Pip and gave him a tiny, careful nudge toward the trunk of the old tree. "You can do it, Pip. Just a little hop." With every nudge from Luna, Pip found the strength to flutter his tiny wings. Luna guided him to a low, mossy bump in the wood. The bunny stood on her tiptoes, stretching as tall as a bunny could stretch, helping Pip reach the first safe spot on the tree. With one last big flap, 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 Pip hopped from the branch right back into his soft, warm nest. He was safe. From the branch below, Skitter the squirrel began to clap. "Hooray for Luna," he cheered. All the animals in the meadow began to whistle and cheer for their brave friend. That night, Luna hopped back to her burrow under the glowing silver moon. She realized that she didn't need to be a giant to be a hero. Courage came in small leaps and kind hearts. Luna was still a quiet bunny, but now she was Luna the Brave.